Developers are bleeding. They're offloading unsold condo units in bulk just to stop the bleeding. Does this mean that the market is crashing? What does this mean for prices moving forward? And could this be your opportunity to get a condo, brand new condo at over 25% below market value? In some cases, cheaper than it takes to build some of these units and capitalize off these struggling developers. Well, in this video, we're going to go through everything you need to know on these bulk condo sales, how you can take advantage of it, and what it means moving forward. So let's get into the video. All right, some developers in Metro Vancouver are turning to bulk condo sales amid a weak market. So selling multiple units at once to a single buyer, this is what some condo developers are doing in Metro Vancouver. And the crazy thing is they're doing this in secret, which is hilarious. But the shift reflects mounting pressure on developers dealing with slow sales and rising costs of holding onto a huge amount of inventory. And he describes the current market as being caught in a tug of war between price maximization and also an urgency to exit. They want to stop holding onto these units because their holding costs are growing. This all came up from a bulk deal in Surrey. They were trying to sell, I think it was like 30 units in Surrey, where they had 50 groups ready to jump in on this opportunity. About half of those were serious buyers. So as soon as they announced the bulk sale of those Surrey condos, and they're selling them well below market prices, it piqued the interest of many other developers. He's saying here that he got off the phone with a developer that needs to sell 18 units in one project in East Vancouver, then another one in Victoria Island, 8 units for a townhome project. Some project sales have slowed to just 1 or 2 units per month. This is so slow that it could take years to sell out a single building. And this is tough because of all the holding costs. Developers must continue paying taxes, insurance, financing costs, while unsold units sit empty. For this reason, developers are increasingly willing to take in upfront costs just to get rid of these units. Essentially, they're saying it's a race against time. They'll take a bigger loss now, but just don't want to be dealing with it for 2 years, is what they're saying. So in return for reduced pricing, you can conceivably get a deal closing within 30 days and skipped out all the associated costs for holding it so long. So what does this mean for the market moving forward? Well, there is a concern that there will be far fewer new homes in the future, which could push prices back up when demand returns. Given that the real estate market is cyclical, once current inventory is sold and construction remains limited, a housing shortage could emerge again. He's saying here the main value proposition for this kind of opportunity is for an investor that will exit in 2 to 3 years. He says here, if you're a betting man, there's going to be a lack of supply in 2 to 3 years. He noted that the current downturn stands out compared to past cycles in his decades in the industry, which were typically shorter and way less severe than what we're seeing right now. By contrast, he described this one as a brutal, long, drawn-out trajectory. He says he's never seen a cycle like this. You can blame it all on David 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐒 and quote me on that because he's manufactured a lot of the problems we've had in this province. That is brutal. In the meantime, investors in this bulk sales strategy can still earn rental income while they wait. If it doesn't work out, you still have a decent yield coming in. So they're mainly targeting to investors. Who's mainly targeting investors, ultimately saying the less investors worry about rental income over the subsequent years and more they focus on the future resale value and the potential capital appreciation years down the road, that there's actually a much bigger upside than what it seems right now. One of their main target markets for these bulk condo sales is for purpose-built rentals. For these buyers, bulk condo purchases offer a relatively low-risk way to expand. The buildings are new, meaning fewer repairs, and the units can be rented out or sold individually later on. Actually, a really big pro. It says here I can get a 4% cap rate on a brand new product. He can buy it now at 25% below peak market values. Seems like a pretty good deal. So now, what happens if the banks and lenders find out that they're offering $200 to $2,500? So here's the interesting thing. You may not have seen or heard about these bulk sales. And one of the reasons is if a bank or lender finds out that they're offering these units at $200 to $250 per square foot cheaper than what they paid for them just a few years ago, those buyers who originally purchased might not get the same loan. Or some of the investors will say, just walk away from their deposits and take a loss, meaning that the developer is out even more money on top of the losses they're already seeing selling at the prices they are right now. So because of this, some deals are being handled very quietly at first, with information shared only with a select buyer pool. When all the units close, the marketing process will become much more transparent. But there are deals happening in the background A lot of things happening that we don't even know about. So you can see these developers are taking massive losses on some of these condos, 25% below market value, just so they're not bleeding money. At the end of the day, the developers right now are losing and struggling so hard because they're taking losses no matter which way you look at it. They're just trying to stop the bleeding as early as possible. Now, what does this mean for you as a buyer? Well, this means that there are actually opportunities there where you can get a really cheap condo, at least a condo below market value, that's brand new, covered under warranty. Who knows, it could be a really good developer that just needs to get out of the project. Very important opportunities to look out for. These developer sold units are brand new and they affect the prices of resale units, because why would you buy a used condo for more money than you can get a brand new condo? So something to look out for if you're a buyer in this market. If you want access to some of these off-market opportunities, developer bulk sales, because I've already seen quite a few, one in Metrotown, one in Surrey Central. They're selling these units for so cheap. It just takes the right buyer to take the opportunity for a quick close. But these prices are insane. I haven't seen these prices in maybe 5 or 6 years. It's wild. So if you want to know more about them, shoot me a text, send me an email, comment on the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.